Niagara Falls residents deserve a candidate who is trustworthy, a leader who has repeatedly helped victims, and a leader that has given awareness on corruption that has taken place throughout the whole city of Niagara Falls. We can no longer have representatives who ignore problems. We can no longer have representatives who refuse to speak out against corruption. The great news is we have that leader. And with your help, we'll be able to get Niagara Falls on the correct path to recovery. I'm extremely honored to be the campaign manager for a candidate who has proven himself over and over again as that true leader. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Niagara Falls City Council write-in candidate, John Rustine.
All right, thank you, Wade. So glad to have Wade as my not only campaign manager, but business partner also. And, well, if you don't know me, my name is John Rustino. I am running for Niagara Falls City Council as a write-in candidate. And, of course, it is early. Early. It's late. It's October already, and we're going to be having an election on November 2nd. But after assessing what I saw as a situation, talking to people, I felt like, maybe the city needs a better option. And the better option is me, because I'm not controlled by any of the party bosses at all. I don't care what they say or what they think. Developers, organizations, or clubs are never in the back of my mind when I'm thinking of the city of Niagara Falls. Actually, when I'm thinking of anything. So I have two families. I really do. I have my wife, I have my kids, I have my grandkids, I have my friends, and I have the survivors that I met. They're great people. But my second family is you, the city of Niagara Falls, the citizens. I've been one. I'm one forever. And it's you, because I've been there. I've been everywhere in the city, as I've heard by a million other candidates say, and those that are elected. I've also been everywhere you could be in this city. I've proven one thing, and there's a phrase that I've always lived by. It's what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Now, I'll tell you, me, if I am your city councilman, what's wrong or right will not matter where it leads. I don't care if it leads to a party affiliation, someone affiliated with one of the political parties, a certain last name, or a campaign contributor. It'll never change for me. No more in the city of Niagara Falls should the term "you're not from here" matter. That has to change, because we need people not from here, because it's the only way we dig out of what we have. We need people from outside to see what's going on here to help us get out of the situations that we are in. Homelessness also has never been addressed by the city of Niagara Falls for as long as I can see. I have there has been obviously non-for-profits and things like that have done stuff. But, the city, it's a city problem, and there needs to be a city solution. And I believe that there is one there. It's just a matter of wanting and the will. There's one. There definitely is one. I read a thing in the Gazette the other day. It was a tourism report came out, and the headline said, "Tourism Report Envisions a Thriving City." It was a 7-page report done by Niagara University. Great. And we all read it. But that report was paid for by Niagara Falls Redevelopment and Blue Cardinal Capital. So I ask you to ask some of the other candidates about this article. What kind of answer can they give you? I don't think they can, because the answer would have to be, well, I get contributions from NFR. I go to cookouts that Blue Cardinal Capital sponsor. So it's going to be difficult to say anything. But I will tell you one person that did, and that is candidate Jim Perry. Jim Perry has had the guts and the will to say no to all of it. And in my opinion, Jim Perry deserves a vote. The guy is the person that will be transparent and doesn't go by party bosses either. We can't move forward in the city of Niagara Falls until the history of political corruption is halted. And by the looks of things, it seems to be in hyperdrive now. Fixing elections by who runs where, which party wants to be the sheriff this time, which party wants to be a judge the next time, stopping people from running. Think about the 4th District. You had a guy from Lockport decide to run in that district just to throw a wrench into the mix and see who, depending on whatever party wanted whoever to win or lose. The nonsense has to stop. It goes on and on and on and on. Then, of course, there was the virtual debate on September 27th. It doesn't even matter that it was done to me and my partner, Wade. It really doesn't. Because it can happen to you. It happened to us. It can happen to you next, and it will. It will if you don't put an end to it. So that's why I have emailed, reached out as best as I can to the New York State Democrats and Republicans. I've called on them to remove immediately Republican Chairman of Niagara Falls, William Carroll, and Democrat Chairman, Danielle DePalma. The lies, the harassment, the political bullying, and all of that is enough. Like I said, it could be, it's us today, it can be you tomorrow, and, you don't want to be on the wrong end of that, but you also don't want to be the one that just goes along with it. No one has stood up and said a word through all of this. So, we're going to say a word. I'm going to say a word. If going to picnics, cleanups, and council meetings is all it takes, then no wonder why we are where we are. Fake concern, photo ops, that door-to-door nonsense is done. You got to remember, this is a new world, right? We're all online. We're all in social media. Those days are over with. You're not going door-to-door at 7 o'clock at night. So just not, really, it's outrageous. It is a new world. And running politics like it's 1980 is finished. And unfortunately, due to the running of politics like 1980, we also have the same corruption of 1980. It doesn't end. And it's obvious. It's right in your face. Now, on October 19th, at the Niagara Falls High School, there is a debate. And I am going to be waiting to know what time to get there for my mic checks, sound checks. I'm waiting. I deserve to be given that opportunity. For example, in the city of Buffalo, there's a mayoral race. 3 out of 4 candidates are write-ins, and they're on the debate stage. So keeping me off the stage only proves further and further the political corruption, harassment, and retaliation that has been attempted to be handed out. If it doesn't stop now, at this point in 2021, when does it stop? How do you watch people running, people elected, just know things are wrong and still say, nothing I can do, or, boy, that's wrong, but too bad. I mean, it's got to stop, because if it doesn't stop, we can't move forward. And if on October 19th I'm not on that stage, it just makes it stronger and stronger the case of why you need to remove both chairpeople, of the parties of the city of Niagara Falls, because it answers all the questions. I mean, if you wanted to look and really know, it's obvious. You don't have to go too far. The city of Niagara Falls, we're all survivors here. As a community, obviously, we've dealt with a 300% increase in violent crime. Poverty is record. Jobs are gone. But we've known that. Jobs have been gone. Manufacturing's been gone for as long as I can remember, and it's never coming back. So, no longer is it the job of city council just to be a budgetary person. That is the biggest bunch of nonsense. I don't care what it says in the city charter, because the city charter is ripped up, stomped on continually. The city charter is the biggest fraud in the history of, there's so many, but it's one of the biggest frauds in the city, in the city of Niagara Falls. It's never used. It's used politically. It's used whenever is needed. It's an if necessary. So it's a waste of time. You're no longer just a budget person. You need to get out in the community, because you are a representative. Think back to when you might have been a child. Think back to when you were going to school and you knew the mayor was coming or a city councilman was coming. It was a big deal. It needs to be a big deal again. It has to be a big deal again. And, a little bit of support to families that were devastated by some of these horrible homicides or other issues that have gone on is humongous for them. It always has been. And we used to do it, and for some reason it stopped. Now, I also want to say something before I close. The survivors of rape and sexual assault that I've been lucky enough to meet are probably the toughest people I've ever met in my life. They are, no doubt. I find it disgusting, and I really mean that elected officials, just don't, ignore them. Just like they ignore the people that are hurting because they lost a loved one, or all of that. It's time to stop ignoring people. It's time to stop. I mean, our city is filled. You know how many people that come across to us that we don't even, you never know because we just talk to them, that have been survivors of assault and rape. They're all over our city. And it's time that people start to pay attention a little more. Awareness has to be given, and it's not. So on November 2nd, please send a message to the city of Niagara Falls, to City Hall, to everywhere in the world, that we're no longer going to accept this neglect, corruption, indifference toward the residents of Niagara Falls. We're just not going to accept it anymore. And, I'm your write-in candidate. My last name is Restaino. Don't forget the A. John, John. When you go to the polls, just write me in. And obviously, I'm available at all times for questions, anything you want. And yeah, I'm late to the party. Of course I am. Because I didn't think I had to get into this party. But I'm getting into it now. And, I'll be here for anyone that's got any questions, any concerns. But I'm the write-in candidate. And let's make something happen.